What's up, everybody? I'm Valente. We're back with Behind Enemy Lines, and this week the Saints are taking on the Chicago Bears, and I'm joined by three of my good friends, also known as the Bear Down Boys. And to my right, we got Jarrett.
Howdy.
To below me, we got Miller Football, the Goat, and then to the bottom right, we got Nicole. So,
What's up?
how are you guys doing? How are y'all?
Pretty solid, pretty solid.
All
Miller,
things
you look
considered,
comfortable
yeah.
down there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got a robe one. That's the only thing keeping me going right now. Is this
Yeah,
damn robe?
I'm gonna refer to you as Peter B a lot this recording. So if
Solid,
I say Peter B, just know I'm talking to you. But
solid.
I'd say our teams recently have had some ups, a lot of downs, but you know I think the Saints are in a good position to make a make a run, have a good streak. With the Bears, though, what are your thoughts on the Bears right now? Just before we get
It's
into
it's terrible. Nothing good. There is nothing good happening. Actually, let me rephrase. The only good thing that has happened to us in multiple weeks is we signed our nose tackle to a 2-year extension, which God love Andrew Billings, but that's a very low bar. So it's tough. It's
I
really
mean,
tough.
the idea of having someone like Montez Sweat on the team is pretty nice. Whether we re-sign him or not is the deciding factor on it. But
Yeah.
we have him for 8 games at least. That's something slightly positive, I
yeah, I mean
guess.
I kind of hope y'all get that deal done because it'd feel kind of weird to have an 8 game loan for a second round pick in return. It'd be, you know,
My thing with
but
that is it just doesn't seem very Poles like to be like he just like he it seems like a situation where he was very unprepared. I like I've been very high on Poles for the most part. He's had his misses like Valus Jones, but in theory, I didn't hate the pick. It was Fields handpicked him. Then the Claypool trade, which in theory was a solid trade. It was just Claypool's an awful receiver and he has negative dog in him. But like for the most part, I've liked kind of his process on how he goes about doing things. And then this one, I'm kind of a little lost. I'm sure there's something behind the scenes. I don't know of why he decided to trade a second round pick for a 27-year-old defensive end who in the last year of his deal, who's going to want an insane amount of money. And we have, a lot less time to get that done. But, it it's not pleasant, but it's also not the end of the world as long as we do in fact get it done before free agency.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
on the
personally
surface,
go ahead.
I love the trade because I like Montez Sweat a lot. Um, and like bare bones of it is like, and this was my take with the Cardinals trading for Hollywood Brown too, although that was a first round pick. But was you need a defensive tackle, so you trade for a proven one instead of using a pick on because like let's be honest, they're all unknowns. I don't care what you think of Caleb Williams. They're all unknowns. We have no idea how they're going to fare in the pros. So, like, on the surface, I like that a lot. But when he's in the last year of his contract, he's not, it's pretty much up to him. Like, unless we throw enough money at him, that's concerning. And this team isn't going to win more than 4 games. Like, that's concerning.
Yeah. I mean, the only downside to this trade is not having an extension in place right away because Montez Sweat is an incredible football player. He is the best pass rusher we have had in Chicago since number 52. So it's tough in the sense that there's a lot of unknowns with it right now, but I like I'm really like up and down on Ryan Poles right now with everything that's happened over the past couple weeks, but I like the process a lot of saying, okay, there's no guarantee a top edge hits the market. We have a bunch of money. We have a second round pick on top of having 2 first round picks. Let's lock up a defensive end now, get him acclimated in the defense, which I know Eberflus is gone at the end of the year, but they're still operating like there's a chance they can save their jobs because that's what you do. So you want to get him acclimated in the defense, get him familiar with the guys he's going to be playing with, juice the worst pass rush in football a little bit, So I like the trade a lot. I like Montez Sweat a lot. He's such a fun player. He's big, he's strong, he's long, he's an incredible run defender. And those are like my favorite things in a defensive end. I like run defense more than pass rushing. Sue me. But it's tough knowing that extension is not in place. Granted, it's because Ryan Poles jumped in at the last second after Washington already had a deal done with Atlanta, but I still want to see something get done rather quickly. And the fact that they extended Andrew Billings recently shows me that Poles is like actively working on contracts, and Sweat didn't come out and say like I'm not negotiating till the offseason like Jalen Johnson just did. So hopefully they can get something figured out there. And if they do, I think this is a great trade for Chicago. But if not, this is like a fireable offense. So the ceiling and the floor of this move are so far apart. It's kind of crazy.
What's your idea of the ceiling?
The ceiling is just getting like a legit top end number 2, low end number 1 pass rusher for the next 4 or 5 years that can be productive at the very least as a pass rusher and a true anchor and run defense. And the floor is, like I said, a totally fireable offense. Get Ryan Poles the hell out of my front office. I don't want anything to do with him. I don't want to see his ass in Chicago again or else type of move.
Very fair.
I mean, I was gonna say the thing about Poles is I feel like the idea is right, but how it works out in the end is what makes him look a lot worse than probably what he actually is. Like the Chase Claypool trade, he was actually pretty decent before, he came to Chicago or went to Chicago, but it's the end result that's making him look as bad as what he seems. But besides all the Bears trade deadline talk, the Saints didn't make any trades or. We thought Jameis was going to go to Minnesota. I'm kind of upset that he didn't because I really want him to have an opportunity. I just don't think that's going to be.
I'd be upset having Jameis Winston on my football team too.
Well, it's not so much not wanting Jameis on the team. It's just I want him to have one last opportunity because I think after
I am very anti Jameis Winston.
I think he's funny. He's one of those like players that's just a funny dude to have on the team. Tears his ACL and he's just getting lit in the locker room on some crutches.
He's funny, but we don't forget what he did at Florida State.
True.
Also that, yes, but he's funny.
Yeah.
He's so freaking funny on the field.
He's certainly funny. I will not take that away from him. But for me personally, I think the off the field antics, we'll call them, kind of outweigh the funny haha eat W's.
Right, but we almost got close to trading for Hunter Renfrow, which I've said this to y'all plenty of times.
I was going to say trading for Hunter Renfrow has been your Roman Empire for the past 5 months.
I've said it since I think we signed Derek Carr and Foster Moreau came in. And I started seeing the Raiders, fall behind. I said it. I'm saying Hunter Renfrow does not want to be in Las Vegas, and Hunter Renfrow is going to be a Saint soon. It's in my hype video. At the end of the hype video, there's a blowed up picture of Hunter Renfrow there, and it says soon, I swear. But it didn't happen, unfortunately. But with that, we're going to move on to our main discussions. So, what are the keys to victory for the Bears and the Saints? I'm going to let y'all start.
I think the big thing for Chicago this week is just establishing the run. We saw how big of a mess we were last week against the Chargers when they wouldn't let us run the ball. So when you have a young quarterback, especially one with a D2 background like Tyson Bagent, which this isn't a shot at him by any means, but he's going into his 3rd career start. The Bears offensive line has been incredible run blocking throughout the season. Deontay Foreman has looked awesome. Roschon Johnson has looked really good when he's been on the field. Like, there is no reason why Chicago should not emphasize establishing the run as soon as possible in this game. I know they've been trying to do this thing as of late where they come out swinging, trying to throw 75-yard passes to Darnell Mooney or just start throwing it to DJ Moore right away. And that's fine. That's great. First couple plays, sure. But you have to establish the run. If you can establish the run, you can control the clock, you can control the field. And when you have a quarterback who at this point in his career is just game managing, That is key. That is integral. Now, I'm kind of hoping they don't do that because I want Chicago to lose this week. But it's that I think, at least in my opinion, that's like the top thing. That's the number one thing that Chicago needs to do.
I mean, Miller kind of, hit it on the head kind of perfectly there. It basically game plan to win should be. I don't want to make this seem like we're just trashing on Bajent, but the game plan is just get the ball out of his hands as much as possible. Let the playmakers make plays. Let the running backs make plays. He's not been like the worst quarterback in the league by any means, but he's just not there yet. He's not ready to be an NFL caliber quarterback. And so you can't really rely on him to make the big plays for you. I know it's kind of a big thing on Bears Twitter right now. It says you either pick the side of Fields or Bajent, and then you hate the other side, and that's just kind of what it is, which I absolutely despise because I think neither of them are our answers long term at quarterback at this point. But get the ball out of Bajent's hands, run the ball a lot. Where I differentiate from Miller, I don't want us to lose because I'm one of the fans who will literally never want a loss. Ever, if it depends on us, getting the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick, don't care, don't want to lose. I hate losing, but I think it probably will be a loss just because I think the Saints are a better team than us in quite a lot of places. Especially now we're missing Edmonds, who's been really, really good for us on defense. But yeah, running the ball, we'll stick with that there.
And the only thing I'll add to that is winning the turnover differential. And a lot of that is keeping the ball out of Tyson's hands. Great guy. But after your first career start where no one knows what you look like, how you play, we saw you I don't know, maybe 10 minutes total in the preseason, right? Against the third team defense. People have you figured out now. So establishing the run so he can do play action. It's almost like we should do that for Justin. Anyways, but establishing the run, establishing a good front seven on from 5, both sides of the ball. And I'm with you, Jarrett. I can't root for my team to lose ever, even if it's a tank bowl. Like we'll see next Thursday, which we'll talk about at great length, I'm sure. But I can never root for my team to lose. Now, if they do lose, I'm not totally upset. It's kind of like a win-win scenario. Either they win and I'm happy or they lose and I'm happy because higher draft picks. So,
I mean, at this point in the season, you're kind of just okay with either.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I will say I know I just said I hate how everyone's picking the side of Bajent or Fields, and I really don't think either of them are going to be our long-term answer. I guess if I did pick a side, I'm more attached to Fields because I was so attached to him since we drafted him 3 years ago. And I really want him to do good. I root for him more than I do for Bajent, I guess you could say. And I mean, Fields is doubtful to play this game. And I know they already announced on Monday for whatever reason that Bajent was going to start. But if Fields plays the rest of the season, I'm going to root for us to win even more just because I think if you went from a potential standpoint, I think Fields has much more potential to be our franchise quarterback than Bajent is, even though, again, it's probably neither of them.
I think the key to win for us is just keep remembering the definition of offense. And that starts with Taysom Hill, 3rd and 1s. I think y'all's rush defense is top 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we don't have Edmonds, who, Jarrett brought him up earlier. He's been stellar in run defense. I know there's a lot of Bears fans that want to pretend he hasn't been. He has been. So missing a 6'5" linebacker that flies to the ball consistently is really going to hurt your run defense. Yeah, granted, we add Montez Sweat, but I'm pretty sure he's on a limited snap count this week. So
probably yes.
Still learning, or
yeah, just learning the defense. He's got some familiarity. One of our defensive coaches used to work with Jack Del Rio, who was his defensive coordinator this past year in Washington. So they're kind of working with him on moving terms from that terminology to the new terminology. It's a whole thing. But no, the run defense has been good, but this week it's probably going to struggle a little bit without Edmonds.
Yeah, and with that, I think that we need to keep going to Taysom Hill in those short yardage situations. Like, usually Taysom Hill is most dangerous when he breaks into the second level, and with the guy with like Tremaine being out, it's gonna be a little bit easier for him to break free for those bigger runs. So, you know, I think that establishing the run and letting Derek Carr continue to build the chemistry with his receivers. Obviously, him and Shaheed seem to be on the same page, and they've been pretty much all season. But him and Olave, there's something there. Obviously, it's not perfect. And I think last week, Olave was a little shook up after what happened, that past Tuesday with him getting arrested. And even then, they still had their chemistry problems. So I think that you try and continue building that chemistry because last week we saw it. It's getting there. The offense is finally gelling together. And if Pete Carmichael keeps calling the games that he did last week, I don't know. I might have to take the hashtag out of my name because I don't know.
I'll tell you right now, if the Saints call a good game offensively against Chicago this week,
It's not going to mean anything.
right, don't be quick to pull that trigger. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't
It's-
so quick to pull the trigger against Indianapolis either, but
Mhm.
like I hadn't seen offense, right? And
Right.
especially when you're having to keep up with the Colts, who are a top 5 scoring offense, you're battling with them. You're trying to outscore them because our defense just wasn't doing it that game. I'm just
Yeah.
proud that we put ourselves in a good situation and we controlled our own destiny. We kept scoring. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, I think early is when we struggle a lot. Like you said, you need to establish the run. I think we just need to be able to get started early because we allowed the Colts to score 20 points in the first half and then they only scored 7 in the second half. I think we just need to get it going early and keep the consistency on defense because that's just something we haven't had. Against the Texans, it all started early for them, and in the second half, we brought it back. I just think we need to bring 100% of the time, all 60 minutes, and I think we can win the game comfortably. And by comfortably, I mean 8 to 9 points, maybe. Because comfortably for us is, honestly, I can't even tell you what comfortably for the Saints is. Because I always get so scared that they're going to blow a lead. After that Packers game, I've been on watch,
See, I will put it this way though: if you're worried about blowing a lead to any team, the team you're not going to blow a lead to is going to be the Bears. We're not built to come from behind. We are just very much like we run the ball, and if that doesn't work and we get behind, we don't have a good enough passing offense to really come back. We have pieces of a passing offense, but quarterback is a big piece there. Bajent, again, not saying he couldn't ever be a potential starter. I don't think he would be, but definitely not there. Third career start coming from a D2 school where his last college game he got blown out by the Colorado School of Mines, but which I have been told is a Division II powerhouse, like the number one ranked Division II school. So
I've heard the Tyson Bajent was D2 Mahomes, and I've heard that Colorado School of Mines was D2 Alabama. So take that how you will. That's word for word. That's what I've been told about those two things.
I think it's much funnier to say he got blown out by the Colorado School of Mines, though.
Yes. No.
What does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean?
Did he get beat by a bunch of miners?
That's like,
were they school for like people?
After? That's what I'm thinking. Like,
the
I don't know what that
School
means.
Of Mines or like mines?
Mines, like
MINE.
Yikes!
I bet they're a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers.
That's what it is, definitely.
Yeah, their mascot is like a kicking mule or donkey.
Why isn't it just like a miner?
No. It goes pretty hard. Hold on.
I need to see this.
That might be worse if they're a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers because that means our current QB1 got beat by a bunch of pedophiles.
Whoa. Okay. While you're looking for that, though, basically put it all together. I think we just need to show efficiency on defense all 60 minutes from the start to the end, and just build back what we started with, because the first 2 weeks of the season, we weren't seeing any sorts of offense from the opposing team until the fourth quarter. So I just hope that we can.
Look at him.
He's just a guy.
He's just.
To be fair, they apparently have two mascots. They have the mule and a miner, and also
they're buddies.
they have
Colorado
Blaster the
Football
burro.
Line.
It's an actual donkey.
Hell yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah.
like my donkey.
Like the Georgia Bulldog and the I forgot who else has the live mascots.
I know
Revel,
the
Texas
Longhorns,
A&M.
too.
Yeah, UCLA used to have a
Ralphie?
bear, didn't they?
They had a bear. That's awesome.
In like the 90s, they had an actual bear or something like that.
The Bears need to do that. Just let loose an actual bear on the field.
Put a bear on the sidelines. Why not?
Oh, and the
I mean, we had one for a couple years with Akeem Hicks.
I miss
Auburn
Hakeem Hicks.
Auburn has
Yeah.
the War Eagle.
Oh, that is true. They
They have the
whole-
eagle that lands on the 50 every time. It's actually
Auburn's
pretty,
mascot is the War Eagle.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bald
I
eagle.
still have no idea.
Never would have guessed that. Okay.
It's an eagle that lands on the 50-yard line. It's actually pretty cool.
Okay,
But
that does sound cool. I'm not good at college mascots, so I did not know that was a thing.
I
I
only
mean, it's not
know
their
from
mascot. They just it's there.
the old
You know, they have
NCAA
it.
game where you could play like the mascot thing, and then Stanford's is
So
just
elite.
a tree.
Why
Right.
That's
doesn't
my
Madden
favorite.
have that?
I don't know.
They
Have
have
you
enough
seen
mascots.
the Stanford mascot in that game? It is
Yes, it's
nightmare
unbelievable.
fuel. It is horrifying.
And the Syracuse Orange.
Oh, that one's. I love that one. That's a good.
So
one.
wait a minute.
Beautiful.
Wait a minute.
What the hell?
Getting totally off topic. Aren't they
How
the
that-
Auburn Tigers?
Yes.
But
Why
they're
do
like
they have
saying
War
is
Eagle?
War Eagle.
They're saying is War Eagle.
Don't ask. Don't
Yeah.
ask.
Don't-
Arizona is the Wildcats, and their thing is bear down. They stole it, so I don't know. Nothing makes sense anymore.
I don't know. Well, we
We're
can
the
talk
Sun
about
Devils?
college another time.
And we say forks up, except it's, like a trident.
Yeah,
but
that would make sense though. More than just saying a completely different animal.
This is
Okay.
why I don't watch college football.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun.
L's up.
Nope, too
Louisville, let's go.
confusing.
National championship.
This guy likes Louisville.
Lamar's
Actually,
is
it's
just
Louisville.
Ours is Peckham.
Double L's.
Which, fun fact, on one of Lamar's Instagram posts or whatever, they were advertising something, and then one of the Lamar students referred to us as Peckers. So I have to live
Hell
with that
yeah.
forever.
Jared is
Okay.
a certified pecker.
I am. Thank you.
All right. It's kind of hard to really do this at this point in the season because, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. What are your breakout candidates? Is there any specific player that you think might have a standout game?
The only guy I could see really stepping up this week that hasn't quite been a massive part of the team. He's shown a lot of flashes, hasn't been able to put a big game together is Roschon Johnson. Last week, towards the end of the game, they seemed to favor him a lot more than they did Deontay Foreman. Granted, they were throwing the ball more, and Johnson's a better pass catcher and a better pass blocker. But I would like to see him get more involved this week because I think Roschon Johnson can be legit. He just hasn't been on the field due to an injury, and he started out the season as RB3, worked up to RB2, got hurt. It's been tough trying to get him on the field, but now he's finally healthy. He's worked back into the offense. Hopefully this can be the week where he really takes off and starts to take over a little bit.
Nicole, do you have any?
Oh, okay. I never know who's going first. I've got two, kind of. One, I'll do in lieu of the Duck, Darnell Mooney, because I think the secondary is going to be all over DJ Moore, and we haven't seen it for Mooney yet. I feel it. I feel like this is going to be the week. My other one, my initial one, is Tyreek Stevenson. The only reason I was hesitant on that a little bit was because I think Derek Carr could have a very good field day with our secondary and his receivers. Shaheed is just fast and Olave is good, but I have been a really huge fan of his game, so I'm going him.
Who did
I'm-
you say?
Tyreek
Tyreek
Stevenson.
Stevenson.
Okay.
I'm
Rookie.
also gonna kind of cheat just a little bit and say 2 because that's more fun, anyways. The first one is he definitely wasn't really a big part of the offense at first to start off the season. The last couple weeks, I know more specifically in the Raiders game, he kind of, started making some bigger plays. Is the boy Tyler Scott? Really like what they've like. His biggest issue this season, whenever he has played, is when he gets the ball in his hands, he's been really, really good. The only problem is his hands were the worst thing I've ever seen, and he had a lot of drops. He definitely seemed to have been improving on that. Again, more so in the Raiders game. Our offense as a whole was pretty garbage against the Chargers. But like they're seeming to get him more involved, which I really like. And I think that he's showing that he can be an actual offensive weapon for us, which is pretty great. For my other pick, I'm actually going to go to the defense, and I'm not going to pick a rookie because we've picked like nothing but I guess Darnell Moody's not. But my boy Kyler Gordon is who I'm going to pick because, again, another guy I had super high hopes on going into the season. Hasn't been awful, but hasn't really taken that next step that I feel like a lot of people saw it. I personally thought he was going to be great this year. Definitely haven't seen it. He's been kind of wishy-washy. Last week I know his game was pretty poor, but again, the team overall, top to bottom, was pretty poor all the way around. But I think that this is going to be kind of I don't know if I'd say a full-on breakout, but I think Kyler Gordon's going to have a bounce-back game. I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback, but Derek Carr is also very inconsistent, and then I don't want to call him turnover prone, but he does tend to have a lot of plays where he just like, I don't know what to call it, but like brain farts where he makes like, just the wrong read.
The bozo gene.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I think that
probably.
Kyler Gordon is a guy who could take advantage of that. So that's who my other pick is.
Fair.
I'm gonna say I got 2 as well. First one is Michael Thomas, and the reason why I'm saying Michael Thomas is because you obviously seen what he's done, what he can do before, right? 2019, he had that incredible year. He had a bunch of 10+ catch games and all that. It was, incredible. But this season, he's been sticking around 5 catches, 40 yards, 60 yards. He hasn't hit that 70-yard mark yet, but I think this is the game where he finally breaks 100 yards, whether that be on 10 catches or 5 catches or whatever it may be. I do think Michael Thomas will have his better than average game. Let's just put it that way. Not a breakout. What is going on?
Nicole is just a wizard. I don't know what
No
Yeah,
idea how
she
I'm
always
doing
does
this, man.
this.
All right, anyway, but Michael Thomas is going to have his better than average or breakout game. And my second one is kind of a cop-out answer, just because Nicole said she thinks that Derek Carr is going to have a field day. This is a bold prediction, and this is very, very bold. I think Derek Carr is going to have 4 touchdowns.
I'm going to tell you right now, if Derek Carr has 4 touchdowns and Michael Thomas goes for over 100 yards, Matt Eberflus will not have a job Monday morning. That is malpractice from a coaching standpoint to allow either one of those to happen.
Yeah, Michael Thomas having 100 yards in the year of our Lord 2023 is probably the
Slant
most.
boy cannot allow it.
Listen,
to be fair,
slant boy against cover 2, impossible. Impossible. Never done before. Can't happen. The Bears don't run enough man coverage for Michael Thomas to be usable in this game, I'm afraid.
It's not just slants though.
brother runs nothing but.
I-
I've never
I
seen this
will
man
say-
run not a slant before.
I will say he's had about 5 to 6 slant routes this year, and he's only caught 2 of them.
So he's
Incredible,
washed.
he can't
He
even
can't
do
even catch the
slants.
only route he can run.
I will say it is hard for me to say he's not washed, and the reason I'm saying he's not washed is because of it's kind of hard to repeat what he did in 2019, especially with the vacation that he had for 2 years. But either way,
I think if any
Um,
receiver is gonna torch us, it's gonna be Olave. I feel like that's quite apparent. I could see Shaheed kind of taking the top off the defense just because we have Eddie Jackson returning, which I think I'm like 99% sure he was active last week, but I did
Just
not
didn't
see him play at all.
Which pissed me off because I really thought that meant we were going to trade him. I really did.
See, I was kind of on board with trading him, but not only did we not trade him, then we just had to watch Elijah Hicks play football, and that is what pisses me off more than anything. I hate to hate on a Bears player, but Elijah Hicks is the worst football player I've ever seen, and I hate that man. He is the reincarnation
Chris
of.
Conti.
Yeah,
I was going to say that's the
man.
reincarnation of Chris Conti to me. Bro is on par with Chris Conti. He pisses me off with how bad he is at football.
I think Chris Conti's worse simply because he let up more important plays.
I guess that's fair. But
Elijah Hicks hasn't played in a meaningful football game yet.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I am going to take Olave as I'm going to replace Michael Thomas with Olave because I can say that the game that he could have would be a breakout game just because of how inconsistent him and Carr have been together. So I think if they can get their connection and timing right and their communication, I think that we've seen what he's done without all the great communication. He's had a 100-yard game against the Titans, and they were so far away from any sorts of good there. I think Olave could be a demon in this game if the timing and communication and all that goes right, which I don't think it will because I don't know what's going on with them. But if it happens, he may go for over 150. And I'm saying that's possible just because he did it last week.
See, I don't even know who's going to start for us at safety, so I'm not going to throw that completely out of the question.
Jackson's definitely starting. He's fully off the injury report.
Yeah, I hope so because again, don't want to watch Elijah Hicks. I don't know who's going to start at the other safety spot because Brisker's out. I know Deron Harmon's been kind of filling in for Brisker at points, so maybe him, but I'm not super confident in him either. So it's just not pleasant.
The good thing is our strong safety, like the position Brisker plays. I know strong safety and free safety aren't technically a thing anymore. They're whatever.
Yeah.
But the safety position in which Brisker is typically slotted is not asked to do a lot in coverage. So
he's more of like a box safety type thing, which Brisker I love him, but hasn't been great. But also he's just not a coverage safety at all. He struggles in coverage pretty much any time they throw him in coverage. I don't really it's weird because I don't think we really have another safety who is even really built to be a box safety unless I'm kind of blanking on someone.
At this point in his career, that's kind of all Harmon can be because he doesn't have the sideline to sideline ability.
I'm just really honestly, I'm not going to lie. I'm not familiar with Harmon at all because I know we signed him to our practice squad and then activated him 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or something?
No, Harmon at this point in his career is just your typical washed downhill safety. That's pretty much what he is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, and with all that, we're going to look at the injury report here. I got it up, and bang. So, injury report, we got Ty Summers out. Lynn Bowden, illness, but he's...
Can we possibly zoom in because I am blind and I don't know what any of this
I don't know
is.
if that's possible. Let me restart this real quick.
Look, it zoomed. I can see it now.
Zoomed? Okay, cool. Lynn Bowden, full practice finally after the illness. Michael Thomas, illness/rest. I know it says rest, but it was the illness. We're going to skip all the way down to questionable, though.
Brother, your injury report is so much nicer than ours. You have nothing. You have one outlier.
And then Malcolm Roach and Kenjoy Miller, questionable. Probably optimistic questionable since they're both illness, but we'll see how that goes. And now, to the Bears.
Does that mean Adam Prentice is back?
No, he's on IR, I think. But don't worry, Colin Sanders makes a great lead.
No, I don't want to watch Colin Sanders at fullback.
Why?
Because he's not a fullback. He's too fat.
But he's a great lead blocker, man. He makes the fullbacks look good. Adam Prentice has not been it. Okay, look.
Listen. Well, you're just wrong. That's just an incorrect statement.
Don't get in a fullback fight with the fullback guy.
Listen, okay.
I'm not going to.
Listen, Kalen Saunders, what he's doing takes zero skill. It takes zero skill to be fat. I do it every day. Okay. All he has to do is run forward. That's all he's doing. Adam Prentice, he's a damn good fullback. All right.
He is. He's a great blocker. I mean,
And that's what, yes, that's all he needs to be.
I don't know. I haven't
Point
seen him
proven.
play. I haven't seen him play. He ain't on here. He might be playing. I don't even know if he went to IR or not. I'm not gonna argue with the fullback fiend about a fullback. So I mean, obviously I like Adam
You
Prentice.
just, in the span of like 30 seconds, you just went from he isn't it to, I don't know, I haven't watched him
Okay,
play.
yeah, I don't think he's it. But thinking about it, he was literally the only running back on the roster besides Tony Jones Jr. and KJ Miller. So he was gonna get his carries. But
Yeah. So because the Saints are misusing him, it's not his fault. He's a good
I'm not
blocker.
misusing him. I mean,
If you're
they have
putting
to use him.
if you were putting Adam Prentice as a tailback, running the
Okay.
football with him on anything other than like a fullback dive, you are misusing him.
It was
is
a fullback
Pete
dive.
Carmichael malpractice.
It was a fullback dive in this specific play that I'm talking about. It was on our goal line. He fumbled. It led to a Bucs touchdown. He had a terrible game that day.
Oh, so
I
your
don't-
offensive line fell apart.
Yeah, that too. That
Your
was horrible.
interior offensive line is terrible.
I think it's kind of weird that Andrews Pete is the bona fide tackle on our team now. But
That is why
You
Josh
know.
Allen had 11 pressures against you. Yes,
no. That wasn't Andrews Pete that time.
it was a
That
mix. He was rushing off both sides in that game.
That was Cesar Ruiz. It was mostly Cesar Ruiz.
Okay, you can say
Mostly.
it was both of them, but yeah, it probably was more Cesar Ruiz. Which side is
But-
Ruiz lined up on right now?
Right.
Okay.
He's right tackle. I think
Then
he's
yeah,
going
yeah,
back to
yeah.
guard this week though.
Yeah. Then it would have been more Ruiz, but it was definitely both sides because I can remember him going against Pete because there was specifically
Yeah.
one play where he like strong armed Pete and put Pete in Derek Carr's lap.
Yeah, I know. Pete's not really, or at least when he played that game, that was his first time playing offensive tackle since Stanford.
No,
But I mean, he's actually done pretty good since then. You know, last week he had an incredible game, and he's done way better than Trevor Penning, which y'all warned me about. But which also you can see James Hurst is playing, which probably means Pete's going back to guard. Anyway, on to the Bears. We got Nate Davis out. Justin Fields doubtful, which we already know that Tyson Bagent's starting.
Mhm.
So Terrell Smith out with illness.
Wait, time
he
out.
has mono.
Just really quickly.
Oh no. Okay.
I thought Fields was limited in practice today.
He was.
It says did not practice.
He
So
definitely
I was
practiced.
curious because
today.
I saw on Twitter him
Your
throwing the
injury
football.
report is incorrect.
Hey, no, this is just the one.
Sue this man.
Hey, look,
False
this is just-
information.
All right. LP. We're just gonna put that there. LP.
Okay,
Can confirm. Limited on the
Okay,
Bears.
I'm not crazy.
Nicole
I
is
know
a more
shit,
reliable
brother.
source.
Okay. Limited. Justin Fields limited. Terrell Smith out with mono.
Bro be kissing too many people.
Terrell Smith, he's just like that.
Jaquan
Nothing wrong with
Brisker
it.
out with concussion.
Yeah.
Tremaine Edmonds out
That's
with
the
knee injury.
Probably biggest injury
Mhm.
we have is Edmonds not playing, which very much scares me.
Braxton
Yeah.
Jones out or questionable for.
If he
Neck
comes
injury.
back, that would be huge because Larry Borum has pissed me off beyond belief in the few games he's gotten to play.
He's a
Brother is
liability every time.
brother is not good at football. The amount
Mhm.
of times I have cursed out this man while watching games is way too many in the short period of time.
He's not
Um,
very good.
And then Lucas Patrick, Eddie Jackson, Mercedes Lewis, and Larry Barome. Barome, right?
Borum.
Borum.
Borum. I
You
literally
added,
just
like,
heard y'all say it.
All right.
there.
So I think the biggest thing we can
Oh.
take away from what you just said is Lucas Patrick and Larry Borum both playing is just a huge negative for us. Both of them suck so much. I hate them both. Lucas
Okay.
Patrick's at least a cool dude, it seems. The
Lucas
whole like
Patrick's all right.
he's a cool guy, but he's just
He's
he's
a-
improved, but he's just not great.
He's not someone you. Well, I mean, he's 30 some now, so he's obviously not someone you want long term. But like, he's not a real starter. He's a band-aid. He's better than Cody Whitehair though.
God, it's
And
not
that
hard
is
to
what
do.
matters.
I am 200 pounds and I could be a better offensive lineman than Cody Whitehair half the time.
Jarrett, I would pay so much money to watch you line up at center.
I
With
would do
all
it.
due respect, I would
I'd
pay
do it.
so much
bro,
money.
bro, Listen, watch us play the Eagles. Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, pancake.
Nobody's.
Yeah, exactly.
Put the
Listen.
ML on the
Built
line.
different, bro.
See how we do.
Dude, listen, I would pay so much money to watch Grayson play a single snap of NFL football.
At any position,
That
I
would
don't
be
care, I
he
love
would
it.
get humbled so fast, and it would be so funny.
I would pay Grayson to play kicker.
Hey Grayson, go line up at center, and we're gonna have Myles Garrett do that little crossover thing while he stands over top of you. Good luck.
This is kind of off topic, but now it's the idea. Whenever we get to the draft season, we all need to do a combine and post it for BDB. We all do
That'd
the
be great.
combine workouts. We have to
I'm
do
so
this.
down.
It
I'm down
needs
for
to
that.
happen.
I'm waiting for this episode.
My
I'm
40
so down.
times about to be elite.
Oh, I can't wait to take the quarterback IQ test that CJ
Oh,
Stroud
God.
failed.
I'm gonna get a
Alright,
3.
My next question was, which I'm pretty sure you guys already answered pretty much, was is there anything that stands out on the injury report to y'all? But with
Yeah.
Larry Borum and Lucas Patrick, I'm pretty sure you already answered that.
Larry Borum is
I mean,
bad
I'm-
at the sport of football.
I'm more excited about the prospect of Braxton Jones playing this week. He's been out forever, and like we already said, not having him has been tough. So that's unfortunate. Also sucks that
Brother-
Nate Davis still isn't playing.
My thing with Braxton Jones is, so yeah, this was like a an evaluation type year for like players like Fields and whatnot. It was just as big of an evaluation year for Braxton Jones. Given we're bad and we're gonna have, I mean, we're halfway through the season, but it's looking like we're gonna have 2 very early picks in the draft, and there just so happen to be 2 really good left tackle prospects in this draft. And with Braxton Jones, I think he missed 5 games or 6 so far. I think it's 5. I could be wrong.
I would lean 5. I don't know.
wanna
I was
offhand.
gonna say.
I think this
how many
would
games
be
have we played?
6.
We've played 7, 8. We've played
Okay,
8.
I think
This
he's.
is week
I think
9.
it's.
Yeah.
Okay. I was making sure, but missing a big chunk of the season is not good for evaluation, and that's a quick way to get replaced. And I'm not saying I don't want him to be replaced, because again, this was as much of an evaluation as the coaches is it for me watching him, and we haven't really got to see much because he definitely had some weaknesses last year as a rookie that we were wanting to see kind of improved upon this year, and we haven't really gotten a chance to see it. So hopefully he gets to play from here on out, and we really get to evaluate him, and we'll see how that goes.
I will say to his credit, I think his leash is a little bit longer than guys like Justin Fields or Darnell Mooney right this second. Number one, because he was a Polls guy. He was actually brought in by Polls, and
Yeah.
Polls seems to value those guys a lot. Granted, he might not be here by the time the draft rolls around, so we'll have to see. And number two, we're going to have to draft a quarterback, whether we like it or not. I think that's kind of a foregone conclusion at this point, unless Fields comes back in the Panthers game and the last couple games of the season and looks like the reincarnation of Madden 07 Michael Vick, which God love him. Don't think that's going to happen. So you're going to have to draft a quarterback. And with Mooney pretty much, again, being a foregone conclusion of not being around next year, I don't know how likely they'd be to take a tackle over Marvin Harrison Jr. if they're in position to. Because to my understanding, this kid is supposed to be the second coming of Christ.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
He's
I'm
really
excited.
good, dude.
I want
Yeah.
him
Take it
so
from this
bad, brother.
Michigan fan. He's
Right.
phenomenal.
Brother is Himothy, all right? Dog is insane.
And I'm just saying, whatever quarterback, pick your poison, because I really haven't watched either one, and I've heard so many conflicting things about both of them. I'm biased and want Drake May simply because of the fact his older brother is one of my favorite college basketball players ever. That's going off nothing other than vibes and family relations, I promise. But whatever quarterback throwing to DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Marvin Harrison Jr., I think Robert Tonyan would still be around. I think he signed a 2-year deal.
Big old
Tyler
body onion.
Scott, like that would be an absurd group of pass catchers for a young quarterback. So I don't know. Plus, I don't think Braxton's been bad when he's been on the field. Like, I know he had a rough start to the season, but as the season's played out, watching everybody else play, I think he was just a victim of the culture. Because with him, the big issue was discipline. He had a couple false starts, and I think every lineman on this team not named Tevin Jenkins or Darnell Wright has had multiple false starts. And that can also be attributed to the extensions of the offensive line. I know Komet's had a couple. I'm just stalling at this point until Valente gets back.
Yeah,
I
I get
don't.
you. If you want to hear a hot take, which I promise I'm not just stealing your take, but kind of a hot take. I'm not a talent evaluator for college players. I really don't watch college that much until it gets around draft season, and then I try and break down film on individual players.
Yeah.
But just gut feeling, I think I like Drake May more than Caleb Williams. Don't have a reasoning. Literally just the few little bits and pieces of the game I've seen, and my gut's telling me Drake May.
See, my thing is, like I said, the whole Luke May thing is, again, just vibes. And then also I've heard a lot of Drake May is Justin Herbert talk, and we'll see. But I'm a huge Herbert fan. I've said on multiple occasions I would kill to have a Justin Herbert in Chicago. I really would. And if it's between Herbert and I've heard people call Caleb a tall Kyler Murray, which odd.
What?
I don't know. Again, I've heard tall Kyler Murray and I've heard Mahomes, and I don't want to compare any quarterback ever to Mahomes. Ew! What?
Sorry about that impromptu Bear Down Boys episode y'all had to do for a minute.
Wait, what are
Totally
we? What,
unrelated to anything. The Giants signed Cade York this morning. He's wearing number 99.
No.
cancel the
Now.
episode. We're burning everything down.
now.
A kicker.
All right.
And he's not even like a Sebastian Janikowski fat kicker. He's just a normal kicker.
That's wild. I kind of love it. It's kind of like, I know, it's kind of like the Teddy Bridgewater 50, where it's like, as soon as that jersey goes up on auction, I want it. Because it's
grossly amazing is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's sacred.
Precisely. You see it.
I'm a numbers guy. I am very picky about numbers. When I play Madden, I am very picky about numbers, so this bothers me tremendously.
Yeah, one of my friends made fun of my my custom player, Valente, when I started playing you. I was still on a call with him, and he was like, well, you can't laugh too much at his quarterback being 22 because you have a tight end that's number 6. And I'm like, hey, that's me.
I think that's better than a quarterback who's 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was gross.
Pitts is 8, so like
that was gross.
A gross tight end number is Darren Waller at 12. I hate it. It hurts my soul.
Well, Darren Waller's just a wide receiver anyway.
All of my rookies in MFML either wearing 22 or 11. I don't know why. I didn't do it, but they're doing it.
It's a glitch. You have to manually fix it.
I looked at Jordan.
I'm too
Travis
lazy to fix like half of them.
I looked at him. He was 11 originally, and I clicked on his edit and discarded, and now he's 22. I don't know, but either way, we were talking about injury report, and usually I like to talk about the bad of the injury report for us, but I think the good is that we're finally getting most of our O-line back to their actual like regular positions. Like I said, Andrew Speed's playing guard again, and James Hurst is probably going to play tackle, even though he sucks. I don't know who's going to be on James Hurst, but whoever is, they might have the breakout game. But yeah, I'm kind of glad that we get our offensive line back to the right spot. And I'm just going to assume y'all were talking about that while I was gone.
Yeah. We were talking about the injury report and also the quarterback prospects in the draft coming up, and why I like Drake May simply because his older brother played for North Carolina, and I'm a North Carolina basketball fan.
Oh, I was going to say, he plays for North Carolina too.
Oh, yeah, but his older brother is one of my favorite college players ever. Luke May was a stud.
Okay.
Is
he better than Luke Hancock?
Point guard for the Suns, or am I thinking of someone else?
Luke May was a forward.
There was a North Carolina point guard who was on the Suns a few years back. I can't think of who it is.
Chris Paul?
Ty.
Yes, I know his first
Ty
name.
Lawson. Ty Lawson. Was he on the Suns?
Ty Lawson was the like
Ty
5'9"
Well,
Nuggets
yeah, he went
dude.
to UNC.
Did he go to? No, I'm thinking of a white dude, like a white dude with the big old beard.
I don't think North Carolina's ever had a white point guard.
I was gonna say
they had Kobe White. That was a white point guard.
Oh my god! Okay.
All right. We're gonna try and get this done Uh,
I'm gonna multitask.
before we hit the hour mark. We heard about the injury report. And now, what's your dream scenario for the Bears this game?
Justin Fields randomly gets to be able to play in the game, and then he does really well. That would be my dream scenario. My realistic dream scenario, just we don't look like utter garbage at every facet of the game, so that there's no positives to look forward to for our next recording of BDB. That's all I'm asking for.
My dream scenario is one of Kari Blasingame scoring a touchdown in some way. I don't care how. Just get 35 in the end zone. And the other one is the Bears looking like utter dog shit, so Matt Eberflus is fired on Monday morning. But then again, that probably won't happen. So
So real question: do I bet on Kari Blossom game anytime touchdown score?
I mean,
I'm gonna look at the odds while Nicole does her dream scenario, and then I'll let you know about that.
Those, all due respect, Miller, got to be pretty high odds, or low, however that works.
probably.
But dream scenario, the game doesn't look like utter garbage. It's like enjoyable. Like I can sit through it and be like, yes, this is a football game that is happening. This is one of the games of all time, where I'm not like seething through my teeth and being like utterly frustrated at everything the Bears do. Like, that's the dream scenario. Is as little frustration as possible. How likely? Who knows?
All right.
What have
I
we
don't know
got?
if you guys can see this that well,
I'm
but
blind, so there's not.
Okay.
Plus, I don't know. I see a lot of zeros.
okay, I'm gonna read this. So Kari Blossom game first touchdown score plus 6,000, which would be $10 to win 610, right? Last touchdown score plus 6,000. Anytime touchdown score plus 1,600, which would be about a $10 bet would win $170. So should I do it? Is there a chance?
I don't
There's
know.
always a chance.
The question is, does Kari Blossom game get a carry this game?
It won't be a rushing touchdown. It would be a receiving touchdown. They like to throw it to him in the flat.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just randomly out of the blue. It's like 3rd and 27. They're like, you know what? Option play, like freaking screenplay to Blossom game while he's like covered by 3 people, and it just gets blown up. I feel like that's what happens literally every time.
Well, while we're here, Miller, I'm gonna make you a deal. I will bet that if it hits, I'll send you half.
Hell yeah. I'm here for it.
Virtual
Miller
handshake.
making
money. All right, cool. Now,
Easiest. Wait, what'd you say you'd win if you put down 7? If you put down 10?
Like
170. That's
Easiest
anytime touchdown
85.
score.
Easiest $85 of my life.
You're banking on that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm full delusion.
It could happen. Look, I think Deontay Johnson's odds were higher last night. Or lower.
You're right. Deontay Johnson just scored a touchdown for the first time in 2 years. Kari scored one this weekend.
Kari can score
Anything is
touchdowns. It's
possible.
not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, Darrington Evans scored a touchdown last week.
Darrington Evans
Still
is a
pissed
dog.
about that.
Why are you pissed about it?
Come on,
It
you
didn't
can't do
help
my
me
boy
in
like
fantasy.
Oh.
I needed a Deontay Foreman touchdown, and they gave it to the freaking Twitch streamer.
I was 5-0
that.
in my paid league,
Like that.
and everything was so good. And then Debo got hurt. Now I'm 5-3.
All right. Well, I'd say the dream scenario for the Saints is everything goes right. In the sense that you're playing arguably one of the worst teams in football, and you just put up an offensive masterclass last week, and you just need to build on that. And if it looks worse than what it did last week on offense, then I'm gonna start questioning jobs again, like I have for at least 4 weeks this season.
See, what I'm hearing from you saying that is Derek Carr played well last week, which means he's guaranteed to be bad this week. So therefore, Bears win. Lock it in.
Sound logic.
Listen, my stepdad, he's a Raiders fan, and I've watched a lot of Raiders football. One of the most inconsistent quarterbacks I've ever seen. Lock it in. We're winning.
See, I think the key for the Bears is
But
we
did he
didn't
play
talk
the
about
Bears?
I'll just throw. Actually, yes, he did. And the Bears beat. I'm pretty sure the Bears beat Derek Carr the last time they played because it was the Khalil Mack revenge game.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, that wasn't it?
But I'd just like to throw out there. I think the key to the game for the Bears is just to make sure every Saints drive starts in the red zone, and then it is over.
Fun fact: last time we played the Raiders was Justin Fields' first career touchdown pass.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
You know who it
I'll
was
say
too?
this.
Jesper Horsted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Up
remember
top.
that for trivia in 50 years for no damn reason.
I saw a stat. I don't know if this is true, but if it is, I think that we need to start making some packages for this. I saw some random ass Twitter graphic that said Jameis Winston's one of the best red zone quarterbacks in the NFL. He had like some insane touchdown number and like no picks. I don't know if it's true, but if it is, we need to start drawing up some Jameis Winston plays in the red zone.
I think that's not what
No.
you should do. Don't let
You
him on the
should
field.
draw up Jameis Winston's pink slip.
Okay, the one.
Drop his
So
plane ticket.
last year I watched the Bucks play the Saints in New Orleans, and Jameis was the
Yep.
starter, and like it was a defensive masterclass, and literally was like 3-3 the whole game, and then Winston threw like 3 straight interceptions in the fourth quarter, and the Buccaneers ended up like blowing them out.
Yeah, I know.
Was
By
that
the
his
way-
30 for 30 season?
No, this was
No, this was last year.
the
He was
season
in
where-
Oh.
Tampa for his 30 for 30.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was against the Bucks. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I heard that is
Hmm.
in Tampa.
By the way, I know we're all kind of Spider-Man fans here. You know, we narrowly avoided a canon event, right, Jarrett?
Are you
I
talking-
was the section next to you. I didn't know you yet, by the way.
Yeah, that was a fat minute ago.
He's lying. He was in your walls.
I was in his head.
He knew
The guy I
you
went with
already.
was a Buccaneer, like a big Tom Brady fan, and he kept getting threatened, and I thought it was funny.
I don't like seeing that. I'm not
Imagine
gonna lie,
getting threatened by a Saints fan, dude.
Our
A
fan
lot of
base
the
is
fans were
toxic off
cool, and they
alcohol.
were like, "Hey," like, because I was wearing a shirt with a goat on it that had like a number 12 for Brady, just because I didn't have a Bucks jersey, and so I bought that for like $20. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, y'all got us this time. We'll get you next time." And we're super friendly about it. But there was this one lady who was threatening to beat the shit out of my friend for no reason. Like the whole game was talking shit to him, like threatening to beat the shit out of him, and like, "Oh, we're gonna need to call the ambulance when I'm done with you." And it's like, lady, like, chill, relax. It was funny though, because I was
Average New
not
Orleans resident.
Okay, I was wrong. It's not like 84-0, but it is an incredibly good red zone statistics. In 2019, his 30 for 30 year, he had 7 touchdowns and 1 pick in the red zone. So he's pretty good in the red zone. However, that's just me workshopping shit, and
You
I'm
just
just
want to
being
see Jameis
stupid.
on the field.
I do. We could have won the Packers game if Pete Carmichael actually had trust in him, but I'm not gonna sit and sulk over the Packers game for
What's
the next
You
crazy
could have
if
won
this-
the Packers game if your defense didn't fall apart against Jordan Love of all
Okay,
people.
we
I know
we
I have no
also-
room to talk,
We
but
also would have won if Blake Groupie would have made that kick.
What's
Now,
crazy
something-
is if your kicker did make the kick, the Packers have 1 win currently,
Yeah, I'm
which
sorry
was
for
against
that, by the
us.
way.
But you
You guys would be beating the Packers in the division race if it wasn't for us. So sorry.
yeah, but then the Packers would have a good chance at either a quarterback or Brock Bowers, and that's my nightmare scenario. If the Packers draft Brock Bowers, I'm never appearing on a podcast again. I will end my own life.
it's okay. They're gonna draft Holton Ahlers.
I don't even know who that is.
First
I heard
name
that-
I've ever heard.
I saw his name on
Legendary
Twitter once.
MFML Seahawks quarterback that came in whenever I was blowing out Grayson.
I saw his name on Twitter once. He is eligible for the draft this year, and he is my Roman Empire. I think about Holton Ahlers once a day. I've never seen the man throw a football. I don't know what he looks like. I just know his name exists. And that's all I
That's
need.
great. Where does
All
he
you
even go?
need.
You don't even
University,
Holton
you know.
Ahlers University. I don't know. Let's find
Colorado State of Mind or Colorado School of
School of
Mines.
Mines.
out.
Yeah. All right. we talked about dream scenario, and obviously Jarrett has his nightmare scenario for
Oh, he's already
next
in the
season.
NFL?
Oh yeah,
he's a Seahawk.
He went to
well
East
technically
Carolina.
he's a free agent now.
He was a Seahawk though. The only reason I know that is because he's on my team.
He
in
went
NFL.
undrafted last year. That's why I'm getting confused.
Brother is like he's just the most like German looking man I've ever seen in my life.
That
That's
man just
insane.
graduated college.
Definitely coached a gym class in elementary.
Brother
school.
does look like he's like
He is a-
37. dog.
yeah.
He
Ah.
looks like what's
Oh
his
my
face?
god.
He looks like Boss Baby if Boss Baby was big. Miller's dying. All right. Anyway, what's your guys' nightmare scenarios for this game, man? We gotta.
I don't know. Injuries to my favorite players. You know, genuinely.
I'm not going to speak my nightmares. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were still going.
No, you can go ahead because now I'm intrigued.
I was just going to say I'm not going to speak my nightmare scenario into existence because I don't want to put that out into the universe because it will happen if I do.
Can we have an idea?
No, I'm not manifesting it. I
All right.
refuse.
No, like hint or anything.
No.
I don't want to know.
Because then you'll guess
Okay.
it and you'll speak it into existence and then it'll happen.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
wondering if
well,
we
I
have
gotta
the
go. So
same-
I'm gonna give nightmare scenario and score prediction real quick, and hope I don't say Miller's. He's over there. Miller's nightmare scenario. Mine is not getting the ball past the 50-yard line, because that just sounds like unwatchable football to me.
No, the old LSU versus Alabama that one time.
Yes, game of the century. Score prediction. Give me Saints 20-13. That's what I got. 23-13. I'll give them an extra field goal. But Valente, thanks for having me on. I gotta bounce. So, how am I doing?
There it is again.
Yeah, Nicole with the confetti. That was that. What an exit! What an exit!
Yeah, that's an amazing. Yeah.
This is amazing.
See y'all.
All right.
I aspire to be like Nicole. She just
And Jarrett, you said yours was
my nightmare or my score prediction.
nightmare.
My nightmare is just injuries to anybody
Okay.
because I'm tired of them already. Our entire team is hurt, including my glorious baby boy Justin Fields, which I have a signed jersey from him, and I'm not hanging it up because I can't do it anymore. It makes me sad to look at. But for score predictions, which is much more fun to talk about, I'm gonna go Saints 24, Bears 10. I have no hope in this offense to score points. So
Go ahead, Miller. Are you gonna?
I think that the Saints are going to win 7-6. And I think what's
Okay.
going to happen is at the very last second, the Bears are going to score a 1-yard passing touchdown with Kari Blasingame. And then Matt Eberflus, in a galaxy brain moment, is going to attempt to go for 2. And then the Bears are going to get called for 3 consecutive false starts. And then Tyson Bagent's going to throw an interception instead of converting the 2-point conversion, which will give the Saints the 1-point win. Also, I think the 1 touchdown the Saints will score will be a Rashid Shaheed jet sweep from their own 1-yard line.
if this happens, that'd be. I
This
honestly
is
wouldn't
Grill.
even be mad.
This is Grill. You know what Grill is, right? Obviously, this is the holy God moment
Mhm.
for all of football. The world will be cured, healed, everything if Rashid Shaheed scores a 99-yard jet sweep and the Bears get 3 consecutive false starts on a 2-point conversion.
I'd like to point out as well, on the jet sweep, the Bears will have 7 players on the field.
What?
None of them can be Andrew Billings because he would shut it down.
No. It'll be like Justin Jones. Here, we'll count out the 7. Justin Jones, Khalid Kareem, Dominique Robinson, Elijah Hicks, obviously, Eddie Jackson, and then I'm trying to think, who do I want to be mean to? I'm trying not to. Jalen Jones.
We need an offensive player.
Yeah, and Larry Borum lined up at nose tackle.
There we go.
See, the only problem with this scenario, not
No.
the unrealisticness.
No. Change my plan. It's not a jet sweep. It's a fake punt. They've got Valus back to return the punt. He's the last guy to make the tackle. He trips and falls on air.
Khalid Kareem's not on the team, by the way, but I still
I
appreciate
thought he was.
No, he got cut for Montez Sweat, I think.
That's who
Khalid
they
Kareem-
got for Montez?
Y'all know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is, right?
Yeah, because I remember me and
Mhm.
Grayson talking about it because it pissed me off because I'm like, we got rid of Terrell Lewis for him and now he's just gone. He was on
Nah,
IR,
okay.
we brought him back, and now he's gone.
So
This is what's
instead
gonna
of
happen.
Kareem, we'll do
Let me cook
Justin
real quick.
Jones again.
Let me cook real quick.
Two double Justin Jones.
Next thing you
Yeah.
know, inside the Superdome, you hear Stone Cold Steve Austin's music. You know what that is, right?
Mhm.
The glass breaking and the dun.
I don't know his music. I just know that he chugs beers like a man.
Man, throw him down. All right, well, you're just gonna hear that glass breaking music, and next thing you know, Khalid Kareem, right? Khalid Kareem's just gonna come. Is that his name? I feel like you smiled just because
Yes.
I got it wrong. Okay,
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's
right.
amazing.
Khalid Kareem's just gonna come out of the tunnel and line up and be the 8th player on the field, and somehow the Bears still don't know that they're missing the other 3. All right, that was
No.
the football moment of all time. But my nightmare prediction, and I feel like this is repeating every previous week I've done this, is that everything falls flat again. You're facing one of the worst passing defenses in the NFL, bottom 10, I think, right? And
I think we're probably bottom 5. We're atrocious in the past. I mean,
right,
we just literally we have 7 sacks as a team or something crap like that.
right. You're facing a bottom tier passing defense, and you just can't get it to your playmakers like Olave, Shaheed, Kamara, Michael Thomas. You got a list of names. I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but everything falls flat in the passing game because Pete Carmichael doesn't have a single brain cell in his head. Now, score prediction. Back when I did Miller's team preview a few months ago, we were messing with them a little bit. The original score that I came up with was 34-23. Now, neither of our teams are that good to score that much. The Saints can do it once or twice a season, and we've already done it twice, so we're not scoring 34 again. So I'm just going to say 20-13. And I think we'll look solid, but we will not look as good as we should against the passing defense like the Bears. Because I am ready for the inconsistency to return. I'm prepared. Not ready, but I'm prepared.
That's valid.
So, that being said, is there anything you guys want to plug before we wrap up?
Yeah. Shit. I pointed the wrong way. I always do this. I always get it.
It's difficult. I don't blame you.
I always get it confused. My name is in this corner over here, right here.
How the hell do you do
Yeah.
this one? Wait, yeah, wait.
There, right there.
Yeah.
MillerFootball, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. I haven't talked about the Saints as of late. Maybe we'll change that. But I do football content of all kinds, film breakdowns, video essays. I've got a NFL iceberg video coming out soon. The iceberg thing I think is a pretty cool trend on YouTube, and I want to get it on it. And then our podcast, Bear Down Boys, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. You can check us out there. We talk about the Bears every week. It's a lot of coping, a lot of Kyle Long propaganda. It's kind of sad, but it's okay because we're sad together, and that's what matters.
You also, I mean, if you enjoy hearing the worst takes you've ever heard, we do have you've seen 3 of the members here. The 4th one gives you some of the worst takes ever, and it's wonderful for everyone.
I don't think you want to promote him because then if they see him, they'd probably click off the video.
I don't know. I feel like Grayson's takes are like a car accident where it's horrible, but you can't look away.
It's
Right.
a fun time.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable to watch. The whole, we had an episode dedicated to drinking margaritas with Dan Feeney, so always a fun time.
All right. Well, Miller, Jarett, I appreciate y'all for joining me. Thank you for talking with me for an hour. Also, thank you to Nicole. I'm probably just gonna put her Twitter in the in the description too. But thank you all for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure y'all drop a like. Go subscribe to these guys. Go subscribe to the Bear Down Boys. Are y'all on Spotify?
Yeah,
Yes.
we should be.
All right,
Grayson
go check out
Grayson
the-
handles all of our like technical stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Go check out everything that they do. They're great creators. They put out great stuff. Jarett is my goat. But that being said, I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we can be in a little bit of better mood next week. Hopefully we'll be 5-4, top of the division, and hopefully the Vikings can beat the Falcons because it's always fuck the Falcons here. And yeah, that being said, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.